Welcome back to part 2 of our series on the wacky and wonderful stadiums that make up the top 30 in world football. We saw stadiums on top of supermarkets and rocks for stands in part 1, but the best is yet to come. Football stadiums are churches, mosques and synagogues in their own right, modern day places of worship where the people congregate every weekend to find their own peace and happiness. Sacred places where history is written and the walls speak. It's rare that any two stadiums are the same, and the more generic stadiums, rest assured, have not made our list. But every club, group of supporters and stadium history is distinct. Its fans have different stories to tell. Speaking of stories to tell, those of the racecourse ground vary from the historic to the hilarious. It's the oldest international football ground still in use. The home of Wrexham FC first hosted an international match on the 5th of March 1877 when Scotland visited to play Wales. It doesn't get more historic than that. Named after the old horse racing track that surrounded the pitch, the stadium is home to Hollywood celebs now, Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney. The pair bought Wrexham in the 5th tier of English football just 2 years ago. They are now in the 4th division, and with their documentary deals and TikTok sponsorship, they are even eyeing the Premier League. So the racecourse ground has truly lived through the ages of the most ancient and modern football. Here for the view? We certainly are. Absolutely stunning. Many now pilgrimage to this ground to sit in the top tier and gaze over the pitch below them and the mountains just across. A fine landscape hanging above a truly magnificent stadium in Mexico. Yes, it is modern, and no, it has not seen historic moments in football, but this stadium in Monterrey is absolutely stunning and will be able to write its own history in 2026 as it will be hosting the FIFA World Cup finals. But like we said, with a view like that, we can forgive a lack of footballing heritage. This stunning ground actually has a dark history in the sense that it was planned and built by the Nazi regime for the ultimate sports washing event, the Berlin Olympics of 1936. But that's where Jesse Owens famously raised his fist in rebellion, and with that very moment, this ground in Berlin has seen one of the most iconic moments in all of sports history. Since then, the ground has hosted epic Berlin derbies, a Barcelona-Juventus European Cup final during Barca's epic treble-winning season, and of course, the 2006 World Cup final, where Italy defeated France on penalties, and Zizou infamously was sent off on the biggest stage of them all. Its stunning symmetry and structure is truly a sight to behold. This arena ticks all the boxes. This Los Angeles stadium is not a conventional football ground, and like the Olympic Stadium in Berlin, it was not built with the intention of hosting football games, or soccer as the locals would call it. Nonetheless, its name is now known worldwide for the part it played in the stunning and historic 1994 World Cup. Host venue of the famous final, where Roberto Baggio skied his penalty to give Brazil the title, the Rose Bowl also saw Brazil's 1-0 semi-final win over Sweden and Romania's historic 3-2 knockout victory over Argentina. The ground is a thing of beauty. It can hold up to 100,000 spectators, and it sits in the Pasadena sunshine, where no roof is necessary. Nestled in a beautiful valley in Southern California, the Rose Bowl is one of the most romantic grounds on our list. The Pierluigi Penso is the humble home of 2nd Division Italian outfit Venezia FC. Venice, Italy is not famous for its football, unlike Rome, Milan or Naples. However, here too, there are passionate fans that trek to watch their home side play every other Saturday. It's just a little different here. The stadium is the second oldest in Italy that's still in use, and in true Venice fashion, the ground is surrounded by water and accessible by boat. It has a stunning backdrop and the stands are bathed in the vibrant green, orange and black colours of the club. One of the hippest clubs in football at the moment, this stylish Italian outfit has a stadium and a city to match. It should be on the bucket list of every travelling football fan. Home to the famous Glasgow Celtic, Celtic Park, also known as Parkhead, has one of the best atmospheres in Europe, and its home club are one of the best supported across the continent. This is despite playing in a league that they have found particularly comfortable in the last decade. Celtic have now won 11 of the last 12 possible titles. The Green Brigade are famous for their tifos, flares, noise and colour, and many great players have said that Celtic Park on a European night is the most raucous atmosphere that they have ever faced. The likes of Manchester United and Barcelona have fallen to defeat here. And don't even mention the Old Firm. The huge rivalry between Celtic and Rangers is when this stadium truly explodes into life like no other. Coincidentally, number 14 on our list is home to the record 14 times champions of Europe. They need no introduction. It's Real Madrid and the Santiago Bernabeu. One of the continent's biggest and boldest arenas, the home of Los Blancos, is undergoing major refurb at the moment to make it even more imposing and impressive. When the new updates are completed, the stadium capacity will have a whopping 85,000. During the days of standing, this ground once held 125,000 fans, an even more astounding number. Now in its modern form, fewer people still create deafening noise, and the Champions League theme is played almost as much as the club album. From Ferenc Puskas and Alfredo Di Stefano to Zinedine Zidane and Cristiano Ronaldo, the Bernabeu is truly the home of the Galacticos. A stunning stadium in Madrid's city centre that has been home to some of the best footballers of all time. At 13 is La Bombonera. A lot of its reputation comes from the noise created by number 12, or in Spanish La Doce. This is the club's 12th man, the ultras group behind the goal that create a world-renowned atmosphere in this fiery cauldron of football. It is tightly packed into the city streets where Diego Maradona adorns the walls and homes are painted in the famous yellow and blue of Boca Juniors. La Bombonera is one of the great football grounds, so unique in its form and in its colour. The old concrete structure is historical and to this day has one of the most boisterous fan bases in the whole game. The whole neighbourhood is an extension of the stadium and the fan base. It lives and breathes football, blue and yellow, and you can feel that in the stands here. The likes of Messi, Maradona and Pelé have all set foot on this historic pitch. Speaking of the late great Diego Maradona, this Argentine legend, also known as God, has a number of stadiums now named after him. One of those is in Naples, home to the recently crowned champions of Italy, Napoli. The Stadio Diego Maradona has an atmosphere like nowhere else. A one-club city in the view of Mount Vesuvius. Here the streets are lined with sky blue bunting, flags and jerseys. This city has its own shrine to hero Diego Maradona, and this year its magnificent stadium has had its revival. Recently refurbished too, this old bowl full of fancy new blue seats is home to one of Europe's most passionate and noisy crowds. In its backdrop lies the sea and the mountains, and in its trophy cabinet, the Serie A, recently celebrated with thousands of fireworks going off above the ground and the city. Borussia Dortmund's home, the Westfalenstadion, is known the world over as one of the most amazing stadiums that the game has to offer. This ground has a capacity of 81,000 and is home to the famous Yellow Wall. This is the famous South Bank terrace behind the goal that holds 25,000 spectators alone. During league games, this is a standing zone, and the noise and colour it creates sends shivers down the spine of Borussia Dortmund's opponents. The 1997 European champions are also famous for their pre-game tifos. An electric atmosphere is created, an incredibly imposing artwork displayed. The yellow wall gives Dortmund a key advantage over opponents every single game. With 55,000 season ticket holders, you can rest assured that this fan base is as loyal and loud as they come. Get the yellow wall on your bucket list. And with that, there you have it. Stadiums 20 to 11. Are you surprised some of these incredible arenas didn't make the top 10? Maybe after the next video you won't be so shocked, where we count down the 10 most epic stadiums in world football. Don't miss out. See you next time.